Let's bring her out. She's, of course, a very well-known actress, musician. Gosh, what has she not done? A fashion icon. Put your hands together and welcome Sofia Carson.
Thank you for that intro, Jeff.
Now, very quickly, before you begin, I heard from someone I know
You did not.
that you work for gummy bears.
I will
Is
work
that
for gummy
true?
bears. This is true. This is the key to my. There's more. We have to share the love. You guys, you have to try these. They're the best gummies.
We got to get
ever.
this off on the right foot. Gummy
Precisely.
bears.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for this. I'm going to do this right here.
So what I'd like to know is just, everyone knows you from the Descendants series, of course, and on Freeform, Pretty Little Liars, Perfectionists. Going way back to the beginning, which came first? Was it the singing or was it the acting career?
Music was my first love.
And I read somewhere,
Yeah.
what was the first song that you learned?
You did your homework.
I did.
Don't Cry for Me, Argentina by Evita. I know, it was a very dramatic 3-year-old little girl. Let me tell you.
And so when it comes to influences on the musical side of things, tell us some of them.
Yeah, it ranges from, I always loved storytelling in songs. So, like when I heard Can't Help Falling in Love by Elvis Presley, you guys might be too little to know who that is, but one of the most beautiful songs of all time, to Yesterday by the Beatles, to Frank Sinatra. Growing up, I was obsessed with Cher. I would watch Cher concerts and tell my mom, that's what I want to be when I grow up. I want to do movies and I want to sing like Cher. So yeah, a big range of music.
And so how did the acting thing come into play? Was that part of the musical side and suddenly the opportunity popped in front of you? What happened there?
So, I've always been a performer, and I even felt that even though the music was my first love, even when I would perform a song, I was in essence telling a story, right? Kind of stepping into a character in that moment. And when I moved to LA, when I started going to college at UCLA and pursuing music, I started going on auditions at the same time, and it happened to be that acting happened first, and I was cast as Evie. Do you guys know Evie? Yeah. I was cast as Evie in Descendants, and that's kind of what changed my life. But it was a musical too, so it was cool to be able to do both in that movie.
Okay, so I'm going to take a quick question from the audience here in a minute,
Okay.
but I wanted you to touch base on, there's a Netflix movie that you have coming up.
Yeah. Who here watches Netflix? So I just finished shooting a movie in Toronto for Netflix, which is really exciting. And it comes out this summer, and it's called Feel the Beat, and I cannot wait for you guys to see it. I'm so excited. You guys will have to let me know what you guys think.
Awesome, that sounds exciting. We'll look forward
Thank
to
you,
that.
Jeff.
So raise your hand if you want to ask a question. We have a couple more songs, so we'll have some time here to ask more if we can't get you all in right now. So what's your name? Mia? Okay, so ask Sophia a question. Go ahead.
What are your favorite songs you performed from Descendants?
That's a great question, Mia. I love your name. That's one of my favorite names, Mia. That's tough. There's so many good. What's your favorite? Too many to pick. All of them. Good answer. I love Chillin' Like a Villain. That's a fun one. Yeah. Chillin' Like a Villain is so much fun. It was very Michael Jackson inspired, so that was really fun. I love Space Between, the ballad between Mal and Evie. Rotten to the Core will always have a place in my heart. Yeah, you guys like Rotten to the Core. And gosh, of the third movie, I love Evie's song One Kiss. Yeah, we're on the same page.
All right, so Sophia, we talked about the acting, we talked about the music side of things. I was reading, I think there was an article back in 2017, 2018, you made your way through Fashion Week in Paris and got a lot of eye-turning during that, when that happened. How long has that side of it been going on? I know you're about to launch a big global like ambassador campaign with Revlon.
Yes.
So talk about that side of things.
Yeah, you know, growing up, I lived in my mom's closet and I would steal her shoes and her clothes and her makeup, and I just loved dressing up and I loved fashion. It was such a way of me to express myself and such a part of who I was as a performer. So I always wanted fashion to be a big part of, you know, my life and my career, and it's been really fun to dive into that world and to go to Paris Fashion Weeks and, you know, really just tell a story through fashion. And I'm so honored to be the new global ambassador for Revlon, like you said, which is incredible, and that campaign launches this year, so I can't wait for you guys to see what we have in store. Who here likes makeup? Yeah. So that's been really exciting, and it's such an honor to represent the company, and yeah, it's been a really exciting 2020 so far.
Are you just going non-stop with everything that you do? Because there's so much.
I really am, yeah. I am. But, you know, Jeff, I get to wake up every day and I get to do what I love, so I consider myself a very lucky girl.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One of the things I love about you is that you're such a great role model.
Thank
You know, when it comes to getting involved, you know, with not only everything we've talked about, but your charity work too. UNICEF, the Ryan Seacrest Foundation, I mean, the list goes on and on. And that's why I was saying that it doesn't seem like there's enough time in the day for what you do, yet you seem to accomplish it all. And, you know, that's very admirable.
Thank you, Jeff. That I really appreciate that.
So we appreciate you taking some time to come in and visit us here today.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Anyone else want to raise their hand for a question? Okay, here, I'm going to pass this over and you can.
It's on, I can hear you.
Okay. I just had a question. So, the third movie, the very big opener, Good to Be Bad, was awesome to see you dancing so phenomenally.
Thank you.
With your heels. It just was like, did you have to practice without them and then with them, or did you?
Yes.
Okay.
So exactly, and I love that you noticed that. I really wanted that.
That's amazing.
Thank you. I really appreciate. I can go give you a big hug after that. You know, we really wanted Evie's growth to be really apparent in the third movie, and for her to come out super strong off the gates. And you know, I was 3 years old when I first started dancing, so I was so happy when Kenny choreographed this really empowering piece for her. So yeah, I learned it first in like a sneaker wedge, and then we moved on to the big heel. But it was even more empowering to do it with the heels, if I'm being honest. It was really fun. It was really fun. Thank you.
So thank you so much, Sophia. We'll
Thank
see you in a
Jeff.
second.
See you soon.
Let's hear it for Sofia Carson.